Hi, tell me about yourself.
Hello, my name is Marcus Callahan, 28, living in Santa Clara, grew up in Sacramento, California. Been training at Kuleana for about a year now, give or take, a couple breaks. I've been doing Jiu-Jitsu since very young, started at like 8 or 9 to 12. And then when I was an adult, I was kind of looking for something to bring me back to something I'm already good at, So I found Jiu-Jitsu and I met Machine at Ralph Gracie, Santa Clara, San Jose. So when I was gym hopping, I found Kuleana, and that's gym in Santa Clara. Gonna be honest, or like all of South Bay. Gonna be completely honest. So yeah. So I started really young, about when I was 8 or 9 to about 11 or 12. I got my orange belt. It created a lot of confidence for a kid that probably really needed it, and it's stuff that you don't really forget. So when I came back in 2022, it kind of felt like riding like a bike. I kind of forgot most of the tricks, but it's something that's always you always have in the back of like your back pocket. Every single fight, I've I've won without even throwing a punch, while maintaining control, maintaining composure, and breathing. And that's something that's really nice about jiu-jitsu, just the feeling of control and breathing, especially in a really tough scenario. Maybe you're getting squashed, or maybe you've been going for 4 or 5 minutes and you have that adrenaline pumping. But right now I have a blue belt, trying to work my way to a purple. I kind of had some blue belt blues on motivation. I worked really hard to get my blue. Then when I got it, it was kind of tough to maintain the consistency because I kind of reached a certain point that I wanted, worked so hard for. But now I'm starting to realize belts don't matter. I'm just here to have some fun, keeping my confidence, staying curious, and just learning more about the sport and meeting great people along the way.
Marcus, you mentioned you had to use your jiu-jitsu skills and self-defense in a real-life situation. Could you talk about that, please?
Yeah, so I grew up kind of in a tough school in Sacramento, and where fighting was kind of a culture. Everyone kind of had a fight by the end of the year. Some people talk about matchups like you should fight that guy and this guy. I was taught in training never to use it unless really needed. By the end of the year, tensions were ramping. Hey, who hasn't had a fight by the end of the year? And then they kind of like look around. They point to me. I was a bit smaller at that time, and they point to another kid who was about the same as me, quiet, but was bigger than me. So everyone starts circling up around, like fight, fight, fight. We're at the park, and the year, and with all the pressure, he eventually swung. I was able to dodge, go around the back, get a grip, take him down, and just got a simple rear naked. I didn't pull the trigger, and because school's complicated, kids would get suspended for weeks at a time for things even less than that or more than that, right? So I would just hold, and then I just said, "Don't make me do it. Don't let me do it." And then teacher came eventually. Everyone scatters, but that's a point where I was able to control, not get aggravated, keep my composure, and just control the opponent without even hurting. So that was my one time actually using what I learned in class while not abusing it.
Wow. And you said the students would actually like pick students to fight,
Yeah, they would.
and they would egg you on until you actually make contact.
Yeah, they would manufacture drama, or sometimes they would just start it themselves. It could be just they can say one thing about some person's family member or a personality, and then that would just be the start of the fight. But it was a tough school. Kids could bring weapons to school. Teachers and faculty weren't treated correctly. It was just a tough environment to be in, especially being someone a bit smaller, classes. There was a lot of bullies around, so trying to just stay in a nice group in the corner and try not to be a part of it. I was just taught not to use violence unless absolutely necessary, but by my teachers, by my parents. So yeah.
Marcus, how do you think jiu-jitsu has helped you directly?
I think two major things have helped me directly with jiu-jitsu. I think you see someone do something effortless. It could be in jiu-jitsu, could be in life, and you're like, man, I wish I can be like that. Or man, it must be so nice to be that athletic or that smart. But the thing is, when people do something like that, no matter how athletic, how smart they are, they put in the time, they put in the effort to make things look effortless. So it's kind of like a paradox where something looks effortless because they put in so much effort into their craft, into their wisdom, their knowledge. So just learning things just take time. Whatever you want to do, if you're learning a new instrument, trying a new hobby, if you're learning a combat sport, it just takes time, and just not having that mind that having a growth mindset's the most important thing to have, and having that. The second thing is having that curiosity. You just learn so much at school, and it's like forced learning, and then it's just having that joy to learn something new is very important to have. It keeps things fresh, keeps you feeling nice and young, and learning jujitsu, just watching videos, taking notes, knowing what you want to do or learn in the end of the class. Like I'm working on my half guard right now, my knee shield, and just taking notes, asking the coach a question, and putting in the effort to where eventually it will be effortless.
Where'd you go to school? What'd you study? And what do you currently do for work?
Yeah, so I grew up in Sacramento, California. Went to Sacramento State, decided to keep it close. Go Hornets, Stingers up. I studied civil engineering, so it kind of runs in the family. My grandfather was a civil engineer. Three of my uncles. My brother graduated a couple years ago in civil. So I studied civil as well. I really like the field where it helps civilization and society. So roads, water, structural, soils, foundation, things that help maintain society. So I focus mostly on construction and construction management at the moment. So I'm a consultant for VTA, so all the light rails, the buses, the BARTs. I'm kind of working in that area or for that for VTA, basically the Valley Transportation Authorization. It covers all the transportation and congestion all across the South Bay. But my main focus right now is rail projects, so maintaining that overhead cable and replacing the rails and the wooden ties underneath, and using our tax money to efficiently maintain our capital projects around the area.
Marcus, do you have any advice for newer students?
Newer students, I would say be fearless. It could be intimidating, especially you come to a new gym, there's new people, there's a bunch of upper belts, or your guard keeps getting passed, you keep getting swept, but every single time it gets slightly better. So it's a bit harder next time someone tries to pass your guard. You get swept, not as fast as last time. Not being afraid to ask questions to people who know more, your coaches, higher belts, or if someone higher asks to roll with you. We have a good culture here to where everyone's pretty nice and pretty informative if you ask. So being fearless and overcoming the voice in the back of your head. So because when you fear something happening, but then it gets done to you, and you just kind of get back up, and nothing really has changed except next time it's going to be a bit easier. So that's my only advice: be fearless, try something new, and use what you learned. And if it doesn't work the first time, it's going to work eventually. So it's just repetition. So yeah.
Marcus, is there something about you that your Kuleana family wouldn't know about?
That they wouldn't know about. I like. I always grew up as a sporty kid, doing soccer, track, basketball, jiu-jitsu. So I've been trying to branch my horizons, and some things I would have liked, but just timing and also budget. So I've been learning the bass guitar over the past couple years, or I would say year. It's just I've never learned anything musical. I've always wanted to, but you kind of get stuck in as an athletic kid or like a band kid. It's kind of tough to bridge a gap. So so I've been trying to learn, teach myself self-taught through YouTube and maybe a course or two, and just learn, play some songs here and there. I've been using or I've been learning a lot of Red Hot Chili Peppers. I kind of grew up with an uncle that listened to a lot of indie rock, and besides that, I've been trying to be a world traveler. We just never really had the budget or to travel the world. We kind of traveled within California. So recently, I just took a 2 week trip, yeah, to Japan, which was wonderful. Kind of went by myself. I asked around. People weren't really biting on it, but I'm not gonna let other people's timing affect where I want to go personally. So I kind of want to do one international trip a year. And the world is just so big not to see, especially with how things are going. You never know what's going to happen. So I kind of want to see as much as I can with life being so short.
Talk about your recent trip to Japan, Marcus.
Yeah. So, I mean, influencers, everyone's going to Japan right now. And I watch anime, I play some video games, and it's just kind of an easy pick, easy travel destination, and easy tourist spot. So I kind of did like the main three cities. Started in Tokyo for a couple of days. Hit the Shibuya crossing, a couple temples, Akihabara, like the big light city, and kind of some touristy spots, but also you want to kind of hit where the locals go too. Because like let's say Shibuya Crossing, there's like a ton of international people that are like taking pictures, and then there's also like some alleys where just there's the locals, and you get to experience great food, and see things you would never kind of see. Everyone's very kind. And then working in transportation, it was really nice to have a bullet train that can take you basically anywhere within a couple of hours. And someone that works in rail as well, I was very impressed. It was very smooth, and you're going like 180 miles an hour, which is really impressive. Then you go to somewhere, and then I went to Kyoto for a couple of days. It's nice seeing just something with history, American history. It's only like 200 like 50 years old. And so seeing something that's lasted the test of time, but also being somewhere, or it's right next to something so urban and so modern, it was really kind of a sight to see. And next I went to Osaka, which is kind of my favorite because I felt like Tokyo, but Tokyo gets very cramped. But I felt a bit spread out. The food was great. It's the food capital of Japan. And the thing is with the food in Japan, like it's not like you can't find something just as good here, but you can't find something just as good as that for like $8.
Okay.
So the food, the clothes were like it's very simple, goes with every single outfit type, which is kind of what I wear. And then just meeting new people. The language barrier wasn't that huge. A lot of people spoke good enough English to talk, or there's travelers when I was stayed in some hostels that you're able to talk to and just share experiences, or just meeting someone from Tokyo or like Tokyo or Osaka, like a small shop owner, and just being able to talk through Google Translates, and just having that experience of being by yourself and being lost but able to figure things out. That's kind of the experience that I wanted. So it was kind of it was great to have for my first international trip. And another thing is it's kind of trendy, but I did all with one backpack.
Oh, okay.
So one backpack, clothes. I made sure to know how to do laundry or make sure that all the clothes mix and match. Keep like the bare essentials. But the problem was I came with one backpack and I left with the backpack and two suitcases of just stuff I bought mostly stuff for my family because I wouldn't be there without them. So I bought a lot of souvenirs mostly for them, and I just bought some clothes for myself. And yeah, I definitely recommend Japan for until like maybe the end of 2026. They're changing some rules to make it tough on tourists. Like they're raising the prices for tourists in 2026. So it's a pretty good time to go. And then as for the next trip, I'm thinking Greece, maybe Turkey, Greece and or Turkey, and experience some of like something with history, but something beautiful at the same time. Something that you wouldn't get here.